Extreme violence outside a Portland library ignites a dual controversies over security and police response. One group is saying, we need more security. Somebody just got the old stabby stab. And others are saying, the police violently apprehended the stabby criminals. What are we going to do? This is Portland, Oregon. Just absolutely makes zero sense. Let's talk about it. Here we go. It's the most recent action here. Man stabbed after leaving downtown Portland library. 3 arrested. Here we go.
A crime alert. Safety at downtown Portland Central Library once again in the headlines after a man was stabbed multiple times on Monday. 3 people have been arrested. Portland police say it happened just after 5 p.m. near Southwest Yamhill Street and 10th Avenue. It started when a man left the library, saw a disturbance, and tried to intervene. That's when he was stabbed several times and assaulted by 2 other people with skateboards, according to investigators. He was taken to the hospital. Authorities say he is expected to be okay. Suspects were quickly tracked down and arrested. All 3 are now facing assault charges. The stabbing happened just months after a deadly shooting outside the library.
Let's go look and see what that shooting looked like at the library. Yep.
According to patrons, safety around the Multnomah County Central Library has been an ongoing concern. One woman we spoke with described the library as a crown jewel of the city. She now avoids bringing her friends to.
I don't bring visitors to this library anymore. I find the conditions outside the library to be too unsafe.
Another woman says the occasionally crowded steps outside the library made her question bringing her children at times.
3 or 4 months ago that it would be kind of, you had to navigate around people to get in, and not necessarily people that I felt super safe with having my children really close to.
After multiple instances of violence in and around the library this summer, the branch has now put new safety measures in place. They have added 3 security guards and increased the area of perimeter patrols. Public Wi-Fi is also now limited to the hours the library is open. Just in the past week, a back and forth between County Commissioner Megan Moyer, the City of Portland, and Portland Police took place. In a letter, Moyer called on Mayor Wilson and PPB to do more about crime around the library. PPB says enforcement has increased over the past year, but blamed any shortfalls on staffing issues. Mayor Wilson said the responsibility of library safety ultimately falls on the county. This mother of 2 says things appear to be improving.
In the past, I would say a few weeks and maybe months, that it's cleared out a bit, and I don't hesitate to bring the kids down here or to come down even on the bus.
While others would like to see the city...
I don't know. Multiple instances of just violence. You got nut jobs everywhere. You got people being shot. You got people being stabbed. And you're still considering bringing your children to the downtown library. That is called not good parenting, period. Just why would you put your children in that environment? It's safe. It's mostly safe till somebody comes up and stabs your child. I mean, we've literally got example after example here. And you got a bunch of nut jobs just running around. This is Portland. It's Portland in general. It's Portland, Oregon in general. No amount of security, no amount of cops is really going to do the trick. Because you've allowed this to happen. You allowed this criminality to just take over your streets. It's all good. Justice reform. Who needs it? Right? Well, just let them out. Just go. Yeah.
And county get on the same page, ultimately blaming the county for dropping the ball and addressing the needs of people in crisis.
I've recently been in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, and there's nothing resembling the streets of Portland in those cities.
Ooh, I'd have to say Philadelphia. You didn't go to Kensington Avenue. Yeah. Didn't she say that? I'm pretty sure she said that.
There's nothing
in crisis.
I've recently been in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, and there's nothing resembling the streets of Portland in those cities.
Philadelphia, Kensington Avenue comes to mind. DC, couple of neighborhoods there. Yep, same thing. Now, this is normal for a big blue liberal city that has just allowed its streets to go. Crime is fine. Drugs are great. Love drugs. Love shoplifting. Don't care about businesses. Don't care about public safety. And that's how you get Portland, Oregon. Oh, and let's defund the police and let's just not have enough of them because everybody hates cops because all cops are bastards, right? I mean, how many times have you seen that on public areas in Portland, in Seattle, in LA? ACAB, all cops are bastard. All cops are bastard. This is again, not a security issue. It's a systemic issue to big blue Democrat run cities, even if they're in Republican states. And the example I give there, Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah.
The library director says the library and the county are reviewing current safety protocols and including recommendations made by PPB and could make additional changes in the future. Christine?
Yeah, hopefully those changes help people feel a little safer. Thank you, John.
See, it's just a bunch of nonsense. This is just a bunch of nonsense. We hope that the changes they make people feel safer. And all you're left with is, are you kidding me? Because none of this stuff is necessarily going to make it safer. You've got a bunch of criminals running around that get to do whatever the F they want. And until you get that reeled in, you got nothing. You literally got nothing. Let's go with this one.
Outside the Multnomah County Central Library Monday, renewing concerns over safety comes after a deadly shooting last month.
For weeks, city and county leaders have been pointing the finger at each other, and that fight continues tonight. Portland's Metro Chamber president says Multnomah County's chair isn't doing enough to solve the violence or drug use surrounding the library. KT's Shelby Slaughter is live at the Central Library. So, Shelby, what have you seen out there today?
We talked about how, frankly, people do use this as a daytime shelter because they don't really have anywhere else to go. But he says the county is the frontline service provider for homeless services. How do you make the library in downtown Portland a safe space for everyone? It's something both County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson and Portland Metro Chamber President Andrew Hone are at odds over.
We have been ringing the alarm bells for over a year.
In this letter to Vega-Peterson, Hone says there is urgent action needed at the library. Hone met me today at the library, even bringing data from the Portland Metro Chamber, and tells me calls just to the city's Clean and Safety Office tell the story.
This is just a private entity getting calls from residents, businesses.
He says since January 1st, both residents and businesses have made 420 calls about trespassing, 74 calls for drug activity, and more than 700 extra patrol requests. And that doesn't include data from police. And you called out Jessica Vega-Peterson. Why?
Her staff has been the lead in managing whatever issues are happening here, proposing plans, and working with our organization. And for over a year, we've transmitted letters. We've given evidence and information about what's happening here, provided businesses the opportunity.
So instead of arresting criminals and prosecuting them and incarcerating them, you've got this ever-revolving door for criminals. And then you've got all these politicians that are saying, well, we're talking about it. We're writing a proposal. We're sending it instead of just doing the basics, which is arresting criminals, prosecuting them, and incarcerating them for long periods of time because they are breaking the law consistently. And you've literally just got these people that are just, talking about stuff. Let's come up with a plan. I've got safety concerns. Yeah, well, that dude does too. He's getting stabbed right now. So, I mean, this whole thing is it's just a bunch of talk. Meanwhile, people are getting and stab action.
Opportunity to meet with her staff, to learn about the impacts that it's having. And then at a certain point in time, things get so bad that you just have to scream at the top of your lungs and say, enough is enough.
And
okay. All right.
𝗪𝗧𝗏, she emphasized that presence is important out here and saying that having security guards out here 24 hours a day is a big improvement. Reporting live in Portland, I'm Shelby Slaughter, K2 News.
Shelby, thanks for that. As for the
Shelby Slaughter. All of this, absolutely ridiculous. You don't need it. If you followed the basics of public safety, you would not need this stuff. Absolute nonsense. I went through, I officiated a wedding this past weekend in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which means I had to go on Interstate 90, on I-90, past Spokane by about half an hour to get to Idaho, Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene being absolutely clean and just as law-abiding as you could imagine. 0 stores that I went into there had stuff locked up. You just didn't. You just didn't have that. You didn't have a bunch of weirdos walking around doing drugs. Drugs are illegal there. Even weed is illegal there. So, and it's a super clean little town. But the contrast between even just driving through Spokane on the freeway, Spokane's got these kind of wild little on-ramps and off-ramps that just zip, all of a sudden you're there. It's like really old school. And so you've got these cars that come on and off the freeway, literally like 100 miles an hour. And you go through Spokane and you feel like you're just in Tweakerville, just absolute Tweakerville. Like, what is going on here? And then you get off in Idaho and you're like, am I in Narnia? Did I end up in Mayberry here? Because everything is super clean. All the people are just like, oh, no, we're just, normal day. There's nothing going on. And there wasn't. They're enjoying the beach. They're enjoying the sun. There's no graffiti. There's none of just the absolute chaos of Seattle or Spokane or Portland. So, this whole thing about, we got controversies over security and police response. Yeah, because you've got systemic issues in these individual communities that with more 24-hour security ain't going to do it in Portland. Ain't not going to do it. You got a bunch of nut jobs running around. And until you absolutely start incarcerating those folks or putting them in treatment or putting them in mental health care facility, not going to work. 44-year-old man was stabbed 3 times outside Central Library in downtown Portland, Oregon on Monday. And events surrounding the daylight assault have angered 2 sets of critics for 2 very different sets of reasons. The attack is the second near Multnomah County's flagship library after a deadly July 1 shooting. That prompted officials to weigh major security changes in and around Southwest 10th Avenue building. These individual things, you're just reacting. You're reacting to a crime happening instead of really going after the issues, which is you got a bunch of nut jobs running around that are criminals, drug addicts, and the mentally ill, who sometimes are all of the above. Now, business leaders are ratcheting up their complaints that Multnomah County officials have failed to do enough to clean up drug use and thwart violence around the beloved civic asset. Who in the world is going to go to the library at this point, this library? Who in the world would want to go there? It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, but, reality says that within the last month, you've had a murder and you had a violent stabbing. So, what could go wrong? Throw that out there. Those 2 items could go wrong. You might get stabbed. You might get shot. So let's not, downplay what you've going on. And this is downtown Portland. Has some of the highest vacancy rates of commercial space in the United States. This is why that's happening. It's not that hard to figure out. But when you listen to these public officials in Portland, you would think that everything's great, everything's fine, everything's gravy. And then you've got the headlines which completely contradict what they're saying, which is, well, crime's down. Well, yeah, ask that dude who got stabbed 3 times if crime is down for him. How'd that work out for him? You know what I mean? Just asking for a friend. Meanwhile, police accountability activists are decrying the tactics Portland police used to arrest two 18-year-olds and 21-year-old accused in the assault after they allegedly fled the scene on a MAX train to the Lloyd district. I can't blow it up anymore.
God. What the f is that about?
That's about a stabbing. It's about a stabbing. Check it out. In the beginning, kids all laying down. Hey, get on your hands, face down, get down right now. And this is a train. This is outside of a train station. Oh, ride the bus, Gus.
Oh my God. What the f is that about?
Yeah. Well, that's about a stabbing, a stabbing. So, meanwhile, police accountability activists are decrying the tactics Portland police used to arrest two 18-year-olds and a 21-year-old accused in the assault after they allegedly fled the scene on a MAX train to the Lloyd district. Pearl District, Lloyd District. Wounded man was walking out of the library with his partner around 5 p.m. when he noticed a disturbance between a group of people near the entrance and yelled at them to stop. A probable cause affidavit stated. Members of the group then turned their attention on the man's partner, prompting him to intervene again. After one person from the group brandished a box cutter, great, the man and his partner hurried across the street. Are you really going to stab me over this? The man recalled asking the group. And the answer to that is, hell yes, we're stabbing you. A library security guard witnessed the incident and heard one of the members of the group say, let's jump him. Those are great words. Before they ran across the street towards the man, one person stabbed him 3 times and 2 others hit him with skateboards. So you got a beat down with skateboards and then you got stabbed with a box cutter. Including on the head, police said. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, but he needed some stitches, clearly, and he had a little headache from the whole skateboard to the noggin blow. Member of the transit police watching TriMet's live cameras saw the group board a nearby Max Green Line train to Holiday Park, where officials arrested 18-year-old yada yada, 21-year-old Kaya Williams, and 18-year-old Daviana Anderson. It showed 7 people face down on a MAX platform. Now we're talking about the footage, with their hands behind their heads. Well, how else do you want to address criminals that are accused of stabbing somebody and beating them in the noggin with a skateboard? Several officers stood a few feet away near patrol cars giving commands. Some pointed what a witness said may have been guns or less lethal weapons. Well, as you do when you've got criminals on the run and you want to keep them secure. I don't see... the whole thing is just like, absolute insanity in Portland. Absolute insanity. The fact that this is like, I don't get it. I don't understand why the police are doing that to those poor children. They just stabbed somebody. That's why. Police spokesperson Mike Benner said that both police and transit officers used guns and lethal weapons while making the arrest. Since the suspects were located only a half an hour after a violent attack, the likelihood of at least one of them still being armed was high. Yeah, I don't have any issues with them taking these kids down. You got to rough them up. You got to let people know who's in charge. I mean, that's just how things are done. This whole, we got to, their rights to this, their rights to that. No. Put them on the beat down. You stab somebody, you got to take the consequences. But Kite Reiford said that the police response was alarming. There's nothing reasonable about it. Now, there's nothing reasonable about going to the library and getting stabbed. There's nothing reasonable about going to the library and getting killed, murdered, shot. That's not reasonable either. I don't think every last one of them had a knife. Yeah, but the cops don't know, so you're going to take them all down till you figure it out. Ask questions later. You're a numbnut. For his part, Portland Metro Chamber President and CEO Andrew Hogan is drawing attention to the site of the alleged crime, saying it has become a hotspot for violence and drug use in the heart of the Rose City. Written statement, she also said the alleged attackers had been inside the library with their undetected weapons before the assault. The library spokesperson would not say whether the alleged attackers had been in the library with knives before the assault. He shared a statement saying that the library and the county were supporting the police investigation and were still learning the circumstances of the incident, as if there's anything else that should be going on besides a complete police investigation. I mean, somebody gets stabbed? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. In the wake of the July shooting, officials from the county and the police bureau played hot potato over whose responsibility it was. You know what? To improve security around the library, it's the entire city's responsibility. And the entire city has voted for politicians that are in place, that have put the policies in place, that have made this such a violent library. Period. So, Portland, this is on you. This is the way you like it. This is the way you wanted it. This is the way you get it. I don't really have any blame for you, any kind of sorrow for you at all. But the two agencies have since converted a group of city, county, and police bureau leaders to address crime around the building. Hey, there's people being stabbed and shot. What should we do? I don't know. Cut down on the criminals running around your streets? What about that? Oh, we can't do that. The optics would not be good. Since the shooting, libraries added security officers, limited Wi-Fi access, added 24-hour security. Okay. But I mean, that's after the fact. This has already happened. So what are you really going to do to stem the criminal activity coming out of this library? You're not, because it's all over. And this is a public building. And criminals love libraries because they're open to the public. You just go in there, jack off, get some air conditioning. It's all good. It's all fine. It's Portland. It's good. I mean, if you need to come outside and stab somebody, if you want to come outside and just shoot somebody, world's your oyster. I mean, you might get caught, but if you do, hey, Multnomah County, they're not really going to prosecute you. They're not really going to incarcerate you. How many more people must be hurt or killed until the county takes decisive action? On wrote. Good question. Good question. Probably a bunch more. This stuff isn't going away anytime soon. It's embedded in the culture that is Portland. It's embedded in the culture that is Seattle. We're okay with street level crime. We are literally okay with it. And you know what you'll see more and more stories saying, yeah, but Sean, the crime rate's gone down. And you're left with, okay, does it seem like the crime rate is going down? Two people have had very, very crazy interactions with folks at the library, right? A shooting and a stabbing. And these aren't the only, things going on. Obviously, you've got all kinds of other stuff going on. How many times have the police been called there? Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. But hey, let's not get into that, because you know what? Crime's going down. Violent crime is way down. Oh, we're way down. Way down. What I love is Trump sending in the troops possibly to Chicago this past weekend. Chicago had, I think, 51 shootings and 9 people get murdered. And I mean, very, very, very violent weekend in Chicago. And what does Let's Go Brandon Johnson do? He gets all worked up because Trump's going to come bring in the National Guard. That might be the most horrible, worst thing ever for Chicago because, fascism. Meanwhile, 51 shootings, 9 murders, and somebody's complaining about additional law authority coming into the city? What is wrong with you? You are just coddling criminals. And that's what's happened in Portland. And that's how you get a library as violent as this, where people are like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's mostly safe. Bring my kids here. Yeah, I won't bring my friends here anymore. Pure insanity. But what else would you expect from the downtown streets of Portland? Yeah. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I drop 2 videos Monday through Friday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.